Hi, this is Jessica Rendon. Um, through my research that I've been doing um, of the Montauk project, I you can be easily, I don't know, I guess it would be overwhelmed by the information that's out there, from witnesses, people that have been part of the project. But I'd like to look a little bit further, and specifically the land, the area of Montauk Point, Camp Hero area. Okay, so they're showing me that there's an area below, deep below the surface, that actually is, they call it an intercession point, but when I was originally looking at this energetically, it looked like a large pyramid underground. And they said it's a force to be reckoned with because it allows entities to devolve themselves and travel mysteriously through the trenches of the underworld. Okay, it means that others who can hear them can persuade them to come up to the surface and tell their story. And this is how it was a marked place, because people, I'm getting indigenous people would come from around, kind of distantly around. I'm getting some of them came from the Aztec territory in Mexico, that's really far. But they would come because they're showing me this enormous pyramid that the Aztecs had. It was like a pyramid on top of a pyramid. I mean, it's just enormous. It's like a mountain. And they said that they were trained to see those who evolved from this area, Montauk, Camp Hero area, so North America. And I believe they corresponded to understand what was happening in the upper cosmos. So, okay, the universe. So is there a can people still travel to this place where this pyramid is, or describe how large the pyramid is? It's voluminous. It is the height of, they're saying many degrees upward. Okay, let's put a person scale to it. Oh, they're like a little ant. They look like the size of the Egyptian pyramids. They're just enormous. Well, there's just one. Well, there's also a smaller one nearby, but it's very small. Okay, now they're talking about the Egyptian pyramids. Okay, so let's focus on this one area. Okay, so can they be reached from the surface? Many can, but in times past they've been sealed and filled up with soil, or it looks like concrete, because man did not want us, see those on the surface and those below the surface, to correspond. Mainly they're worried about people below the surface corresponding with us. Okay. Because the people below the surface have a lot more intuition to expand and give to those on the surface. I mean, like how wars are won, and how societies are formed. So it sounds like they're an advanced civilization, those below. So no one goes below then, is that what you're saying? They're saying surreptitiously, it seems that none have the ability to travel to those depths, but there are certain coordinate spots or coordinate points that intercede with the particular one that leads you down below. So if you communicate with them, they're using via context and descent. So let's say, what does that really mean? If it's in your genetic ancestry to communicate with them, which is, what is the genetic ancestry? Tall beings with, are they human or they're just saying they're towers of beings. They're immense. So I'm wondering if that's even humans or if it's others. Oh, they're saying those below the ground know who they are. Okay, so maybe they're not actual humans. They almost seem like giants. So who exactly closed it off? Was it mainly the people on the surface, but people below actually reinforced it on their end because they know that high society members cling to them and their insistence develop more wealth and more control over the masses. So they kind of, that, he says that combined are weapons. So we politely decline to receive them. Oh, wow. So they have morals. Okay. He's like, yeah, we totally have morals. I'm seeing this bald-headed person with kind of, it almost seems like gray skin. Speaking. Okay, there's many spots above where the pyramids are and still below the earth that energize that landmass, that specific area, because it once was of the Atlantean culture. And there are remnants of Atlantis on that specific region. That specific soil, you're going to find rocks and species of plants that don't exist anywhere else. Now, I'm seeing it's at the very tip. They're saying southernmost portion, but it doesn't look like they're pointing to a southernmost portion. I'm going to have to look at a map to describe it better because it looks like it's a small portion of Long Island that juts out at the very end, and it almost looks like it's, I don't know if anyone actually is able to walk on it or live on it. Yeah, they said there's a couple of houses there, but they've been demolished. Okay, so it's a very small area, maybe like 500 feet long. Anyway, that particular area has different specimen altogether. The coral is different. It's unique. It's like a turquoise. They say those particular minerals communicate with the moon, and it's kind of goes on and on. I have to keep a focus here, but okay, so currently people are not able to access the underground, but you said the elites like to communicate with them, so someone other than the elites covered up the holes. They said it would seem so, but it's actually a persuasion to not look into the underground because some of it is, well, primarily it was enforced by the elites, but they're like, if we can't have this information, nobody else can. Pretty much. Or if you're really interested, you're really going to have to look really freaking hard. But there's building above one of the areas that is incredibly, it's as if the energy almost emanates to the surface, and I'm going to say it does. I don't know if there's an actual passage there, but you can feel the energy, and I'm wondering if that, what type of building. It's a tall spired building. It probably might be the lighthouse, I'm guessing. They said parts of it, but there are portions outside of the lighthouse. I'm getting the southwest portion. It kind of juts out, and there is some emanating frequencies that that you can experience some weird shit. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, I would think that just going inside of the lighthouse, you could experience that, but it's like it's in the soil, just as in the other portion that I described was of Atlantean culture. and the civilization. And I'm wondering, they said it's in the freaking rocks there. I mean, they should sell those things. So horrible. Okay. But they seem to be in a bluish color, kind of like an aquamarine color, like Amazonite has kind of that color. Not that that's the mineral. Okay, so if someone goes to that area and they can basically feel the energy. And you can also see little, they call them sparkles in the air. You know, that sounds very familiar to a high crystalline grouping underneath the earth. I've heard of this in other places. You can actually experience different dimensions in those places. It can seem a little freaking haunted, and you can, I don't know, it's just as if you're in a different place altogether, you know? Okay. Yeah, they said you can, it's a major, I'm wondering if it's an occult point of gathering for ceremony, because there's some awesome shit that goes on there. But it's inside the freaking lighthouse. So maybe they want it covered. I haven't heard of anything, of any occult practices going on there, but anything can happen. And I'm not even questioning about the Montauk project because there's so much information there already, without it even without even going to that time. The Atlantean culture has been permeating through this area for quite some time, and I'm getting to know that the pyramid is the one that helps this energy permeate the very soil. So, because I'm wondering if this pyramid was once above sea level, like they're saying in the very beginning, which historically I don't even try to gauge or understand, other than it was before the Egyptian civilization formed or not. Oh, way before that. Usually, like, even the beginnings of Lemuria, it was around that time. So Lemuria, according to what I've studied or believe, occurred before Atlantis, and then after Atlantis, ancient Egypt. So they're saying Lemuria is like basically the freaking ocean right now. I mean, it's because it was first a water planet. Okay, I'm going into non-Montauk areas. Okay, so how many feet below the surface is this? Oh, wow. It's like about 300 feet below the surface. And it's as if it is on top of this blue looking ball. I mean, I know this sounds strange, but I'll try to explain a little better. It's like an energy force. It's in the color of almost a dark blue, kind of medium blue. And all I'm seeing is the upper portion of this sphere, so I'm not sure if that's all that is there. What? Oh my gosh, I'm seeing some crazy stuff in my third eye. It's like I'm going into a cave and the sides of the wall are kind of moving for me. There's like an underground civilization there, and it's lit on the inside. It's actually very beautiful. It does look like an ancient civilization. It's carved into the cave system in the rock. Is that what I saw as the blue upper portion of a sphere? They said they're actually around the sphere. So there's a whole city underneath the pyramid. They correspond with it. It's like they keep it up. Okay, so this blue portion that I saw is actually a different dimension, and it maintains its dimension, its dimensional frequency. I didn't actually see people in it. It's just below the pyramid. Oh, okay. So the people that live around it, you can actually look into it and see like of different people in different places. I'm seeing someone in a spaceship. I think they correspond with people in UFOs beneath there. But it's their own people. They're saying it's Arcturian. But they see how they're doing and how they're progressing, if they're okay, if they need anything. So it's like a communication area. And so it's right below the pyramid, and it would make sense that the pyramid itself is the antenna. And that's why it's so strong there. The energy is so strong because it's meant to be used to communicate with forces outside of the surface of the earth. And they say like globally, it communicates globally as well. They said that ancient ships arrive here and access the port command. That's what they're using, the terms they're using. They actually say that area that I'm describing is an ancient seaport. Okay, so it wasn't below water, as I mentioned. It was huge, like everybody and their dog went there. But it looks like a futuristic city almost. I mean, really. It looks like it has satellite dishes in different places. The architecture is modern. It was a place of higher learning for them as well. And it looks like some of the old Egyptian temples with many steps and small entrances. There's a burial chamber that a female pharaoh built that looked a lot similar. It was into a mountainside. They said that it's no real surprise that their energy below interrupts those at the top, at the surface, because it's very powerful. Very powerful Atlantean oracles live there. I'm getting like the pink color. That's how they represent themselves. And they're saying it's no surprise that people from the surface have used, they're saying white people have used this energy, this great amount of energy, and completely distorted it. Because that was the beginnings of their civilization, where people had great technology and they feared it, so they used it against others. But they're saying it's coming around full circle, and this won't ever be an aberration of experience for anyone. And they're showing me little ones, because little children were used in the project. It said it won't ever be used like that as a torture device for others to share in and manipulate entities beyond. Okay, I'm gonna stop there.